Good afternoon and welcome to the Public Works Committee for April 3rd. I'm Brenda Fincher, Chair of the committee, and I have with me Councilmember Seth Winter-Core and Councilmember Marley Larimer. We also have with us Public Works Director Chad Barron, and keeping everything orderly and for the historical point, Karen Bays is taking minutes, which it is also her birthday today. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Okay, so aside from that, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
No changes, then we are ready for a motion.
Chair, I move approval for minutes, March 2023 minutes.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor? Aye. The minutes have been accepted. We are on to Cheryl. Cheryl is Rolick Wilcox is going to let us know about a condemnation ordinance.
Yes. Hello. Let's see if I can get this to work. Oh, not. There we go. All righty. So the city requires acquisition of property rights from 21 property owners to construct the South 218th Street / 98th Avenue South from 94th Place South to South 216th Street project. It's also known as 224th Phase 3 in my world. The project will widen South 218th Street and 98th Avenue South to 3 lanes and includes paving, concrete curbs, gutters, sidewalks, paved shoulders, street lighting, storm drainage, sanitary sewer, water mains replacement, landscaping, and channelization. The project will also include undergrounding all overhead utilities to a joint utility trench. Right-of-way staff has been working with impacted property owners, and along with the project engineers, we held a public meeting for the community at Panther Lake Elementary on February 10th, 2023. Since that meeting, right-of-way staff has successfully completed acquisition from 11 property owners now. We had another one sign up today through direct negotiations, and we're working with the remaining 10 property owners. Litigated condemnation proceedings would be the last resort, and the city's making every reasonable effort to avoid litigation. If negotiations fail, condemnation proceedings may become necessary to maintain the project schedule, which is scheduled to start in late summer of this year. Having the condemnation ordinance in place this time will reduce the time required to file condemnation proceedings later if it becomes necessary. And all the property owners affected by this have received written notice of the ordinance, and notice was also published in the Kent Reporter as well. And you can kind of see, if you look up here, where in the city the project is going to take place. And then this is a little bit of a zero in. The yellow dots, little yellow sunshines, are the property owners who've signed. We've had one more of those red dots turn yellow today. The red dots are the property owners we've contacted and are working with right now. Are there any questions?
I'm curious, what does working with entail?
Well, we contact them by sent them an offer letter. We have a form offer letter. Since this is a federally funded project, we work with WSDOT on and use their forms and their directions. They've received the offer letter, and we have been in contact with all of them, either by really pretty much all of them we've spoken with directly, either on the phone, not just by email. We've visited several property owners' homes. I know that our engineers went out and met with one property owner's daughter with the property owner on FaceTime. He was in Vietnam.
Okay.
So
That's what I was curious.
Yeah.
Are we able to get a hold of, is there any reason we couldn't get a hold of one for legitimate?
No, not now. At this point, this gentleman's going to be back in a few weeks. We have another property owner who has 2 parties that are going to be back in the next week or so. And then the rest they're learning more about the project or just investigating what they'd like, if they'd like anything else done or to make a counteroffer.
Okay, great, thank you.
Councilmember Kaur?
Yeah, quick questions. How much of their properties are we looking to purchase?
very small amounts. They're just some little right-of-way pieces on the, around the edges for the sidewalks. There's a couple easements that are subterranean easements, so they go underneath to hold up walls for part of the project. Others are, the rest are temporary easements, so we can work on the edges of their property. And if we just destroy anything on their property, they're being compensated for that too.
Thank you.
Did you have a comment, Director?
Just clarifying, yeah, no full takes. We don't have any issues having to take full properties. It's just, as Cheryl described, strip takes.
And that is a concern. Often when we hear the word condemnation, we think that the entire property is going to be taken and the government is going to do whatever. But for one, there was an appraisal that was put in, that has taken place. The owner also can have an appraiser come out. And it's a strip of their land, not their full part. And we're also going to be increasing safety, as you said. There's going to be one undergrounding. You know, where I live, I wish everything was undergrounded where I am. I wouldn't lose my cable, for instance, when the wind blows, or my phone, since those are together. There's also going to be sidewalks. And we know we are getting asked for sidewalks all the time and trying to close those gaps, especially when there's no new building going on. It's not the easiest thing that we have on our list. So this is a good thing. And I just wanted to get that in there before I ask for a motion.
Chair, I move to adopt an ordinance authorizing the condemnation of property rights necessary to construct the South 218th Street, 98th Avenue South from 94th Place South to South 216th Street project.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to move the adoption of the ordinance authorizing the condemnation of the aforementioned properties. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. And just to add on again, that this doesn't mean that these properties are going to be condemned. This is a step that we take so that we can remain within the timeframes necessary to complete the work, which is not only City of Kent, but we're working with the electrical partners and other organizations also. So thank you very much, Cheryl. And now we have Stephen Lincoln coming forward, who is going to let us know about Rock Creek and Summit Landsburg Mine, some things going on up there.
Thank you. Chair Fincher, members of the committee, good afternoon. I'm Steve Lincoln. I'm an engineer with the Department of Public Works, and I'm here to discuss an interlocal agreement with King County for the shared maintenance of the new Rock Creek Bridge at Summit Landsburg Road. As you can see on this aerial map here, the bridge is located on the city's Clark Springs property outside of Maple Valley, just south of the county line. This is the last of a series of habitat conservation measure projects we agreed to perform in an agreement with the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife and the National Marine Fisheries Service back in 2010. We did this in exchange for their support in maintaining the city's ongoing water rights at the Clark Springs water facility there that produces up to 60% of the city's drinking water supply. Now, as you can see, the project is very close to our city limits with the unincorporated county. And as you can see on this more detailed view here of the bridge's construction plans, a portion of the completed bridge and roadway improvements lies outside of the city in the unincorporated King County. Because of this, we approached the county and started the process of negotiating an agreement to define the city and the county's responsibility with respect to who will be responsible for what features of ongoing maintenance and repair of the bridge and roadway. I approached them with my colleague Joe Rocto to discuss how we divide that, and we also had assistance with the legal verbiage with Christina Schuck from the City Attorney's Office. Thank you. In broad strokes, the agreement we negotiated basically leaves the overall costs of the maintenance and upkeep of the bridge structure itself and related routine tasks such as bridge inspection and maintaining the bridge's entry on the state database with the city, and then overall responsibility for the maintenance of the roadway surface on Summit Landsburg Road with the county being responsible for such tasks as street sweeping, snow plowing, maintaining the paint stripes, raised pavement markers, signs, and overlay and pothole type repairs. While I am here, I also wanted to update you on the progress of our work on the bridge. We began construction last summer. We removed the existing three-pipe culvert that conveyed Rock Creek under Summit Landsburg Road. You can see kind of the reason why we had to replace it. The existing culvert acted as a bottleneck and prevented migration of salmon upstream into the larger Clark Springs area. We have now replaced that culvert with the new bridge structure that you see on the right, and we have restored Rock Creek to its pre-existing stream bed condition. And on the following slides, just showing you our habitat improvements and plantings on, near the bridge abutments. You can see here, as well as our large woody debris emplacements on the downstream end of the bridge, providing off-channel habitat and various rearing and resting locations to protect the migrating salmon from predators. And that, I'd like to thank you for your continued support of our work in the department, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much. Council members, any questions?
No questions. I'll just say that I love seeing the habitat restored. It's wonderful. Thanks for bringing those photos.
You know, it pleases me with all the work that we're getting done over on Downey and some of the other projects will make a difference. With that, we are ready for a motion.
Chair, I move to authorize the mayor to sign an interlocal agreement with King County for the maintenance of the Rock Creek Bridge, subject to final terms and conditions acceptable to the city attorney and public works director.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to share that, to authorize the mayor to sign the interlocal agreement so we can share that work with King County. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It has passed, and we'll move on to full council. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Love that, because that takes part of the cost off of our plate. Today was a short agenda, so unless there is anything for the good of the order, we are adjourned.